I wasn't born into peace. I was born into war. No toys, no birthdays, no quiet nights. Just fear, gunshots, and survival. While some kids were learning to ride bikes, I was learning how to duck from bombs. My name is Yusuf, and this is the story of how I went from running for my life to building $1 million life. I was born in Syria in 1993. By the time I was 6, I had seen things no child should ever see. I remember hiding under a table with my little sister, our hands over our ears as the bombs dropped outside. We didn't cry. We didn't scream. We just waited, hoping we wouldn't be next. My father was an electrician. Every day he risked his life to bring back bread, but the war didn't care about good men. One day the building next to ours was hit, a single blast, and half my childhood was gone. But somehow, in that chaos, I still dreamed. I didn't dream of riches. I dreamed of freedom. I dreamed of a world where I could breathe without fearing the next airstrike. I'll never forget the day I found a broken smartphone in the rubble. The screen was cracked. The battery barely held, but it still turned on. One app worked, YouTube. I clicked on a video. I didn't understand the language, but I saw people talking about business, success, money, and freedom. That night I whispered to myself, if they can do it, why can't I? That was the night I decided I was going to escape, and I was going to become more than a survivor. I was going to become unstoppable. At 17, I left my family. No money, no passport, just a bag and a fire inside. I crossed mountains, deserts, and borders illegally. I slept in forests. I begged for food. I got arrested twice, but I didn't stop. After 3 brutal months, I finally reached Germany. I had made it, but I was broke, alone, and broken inside. Still, I told myself, Yusuf, you didn't survive war to live an average life. You didn't lose everything to end up with nothing. I worked construction during the day, washed dishes at night, and in the middle of all that, I studied. I watched YouTube tutorials on marketing and business. I taught myself English, and every night I imagined a better future. Not for revenge, but for redemption. After 2 years of grinding, I saved up $500. I launched my first online store. I thought the money would start rolling in. But guess what? Nothing. No sales. No traffic. No success. I remember crying that night. Not because of the failure, but because I felt like I had let my future down. I almost quit, but something inside me screamed, you didn't crawl through hell to give up now. So I sold my phone, ate bread and water for weeks, and I tried again. The second time I tried something different. I created a small brand that sold jewelry made by refugee women. Every bracelet had a story. Every sale gave them a purpose and gave me hope. And then it worked. Slowly at first. 1 sale, then 5, then 50. I reinvested everything. I didn't party. I didn't sleep in. I didn't waste €1. At 23 years old, I made my first $100,000. And do you know what I did? I sent $70,000 back home to rebuild my parents' house because I promised them, one day I will come back and will never be cold again. By the time I was 25, I had crossed 1 million in sales. People started calling me lucky, but they didn't see the nights I slept on the floor, the days I went hungry, the years I didn't quit. I took that money and created a foundation, one that trains refugees in coding, e-commerce, and self-discipline. I gave them laptops. I gave them skills, but most importantly, I gave them hope, because I know what it's like to have nothing but a dream. Today I drive a luxury car. I live in a high-rise apartment. I run a company with 40 employees. But do you want to know what hangs above my desk? Not awards, not diplomas, but a bullet casing. The same one that took my best friend during the war. I keep it there to remind me, Yusuf, you're not here because you're smart. You're here because you refuse to break. I never want to forget where I came from, because my pain became my power. You might be watching this from a warm bed, with food in the kitchen and a phone in your hand. You don't need a miracle. You don't need $1 million to start. You just need fire. If a boy from a war zone, with no money, no language, no passport, can become a millionaire, then what's stopping you? Not your parents, not your past, not your problems. Your future is waiting for you to stop making excuses and start making decisions. I was born in war, but I built peace. I started with nothing. But I created everything. And so can you.